All right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. All right. So we should have our composition notebook out. We left off on this problem right here. We're going to find the axis of symmetry. We're going to find let a few more people in, vertex, whether or not that vertex is minimum or maximum, and our zeros, roots, and x-intercepts. Remember, zeros, roots, and x-intercepts, they have the same meaning. That means you're just figuring out where the parabola crosses the x-axis. That's all you're doing. Where does the parabola cross the x-axis? There, okay? All right, so let a few more people folks in. All right, so we're gonna find these values in the calculator, but before we find them in the calculator, we are going to do this pencil and paper like we did on Friday. So let's find our axis of symmetry first. So we're gonna do AOS first. AOS is axis of symmetry. What is the formula for axis of symmetry? X is equal to what? Come on, y'all. You gotta know these formulas by heart. What's the formula? Yep, 2A. Very good. Okay. You got to know, if you don't know your formulas by heart, write them on some flashcards. Okay. Write them on some flashcards. All right. So this is one of those, you have to know this formula by heart. Okay. So now we're going to label our A, what our A is, our B is, and our C is. What's our A in this? It's 1. Very good. Positive 1. What's our B? Negative what? 4. Good job, A. And what's our C? 4. Excellent. Okay. So now we're going to substitute the information that we need to figure out what our axis of symmetry is, which is that vertical line that cuts the parabola in half. It's the vertical line that cuts the parabola in half. So basically what we're doing is we are writing the equation for that vertical line. All right, so let's substitute. We got negative as a part of the formula, and we're going to substitute B, which is negative 4. Then on the bottom, we have 2 times 1, because A is 1. So here we got a negative times a negative, which is now positive. So that's positive 4, divided by 2 times 1, which is 2. So when we simplify this, we get X is equal to 2. So our equation for axis of symmetry, the vertical line that cuts this parabola in half, is X is equal to 2. That's the axis of symmetry. That's the equation for the vertical line. Questions, comments, or concerns? Did anybody get that right? Okay, that's good. All right, good deal. Okay, let's do vertex. So now we're finding our vertex, okay? So to find your vertex, you already know that the x coordinate of the vortex is 2, because your x coordinate of the vertex is going to be whatever the axis of symmetry is. So now all you got to do is figure out what y is. So you're going to take the equation and substitute x into the equation to find y. So you got y is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 4. I'm going to replace x with 2. Okay, I'm going to replace x with 2. So I have y is equal to 2, bring down the squared, minus 4 times 2 plus 4. Okay, so this gives me, and I simplify, 2 to the second power is the same as saying 2 times 2, which is 4. Then we got negative 4 times 2, which is negative 8, and plus 4. I'm going to add and subtract from left to right. So this is y is equal to, this is negative 4 plus 4, which gives us what? 0. So our axis of symmetry is 2, 0. Any questions about how we got that as our vertex? Okay, is this vertex our minimum or maximum? Is this vertex our minimum or maximum value? Is this vertex our minimum or maximum value? Is this parabola going up or down? Is it an upward parabola or, or a downward parabola? It's an upward parabola because A is a positive number. Okay, so this is an upward. This is an upward parabola because A, your number for A is positive. So that means that our vertex is going to be our minimum value. Okay. Our vertex is our minimum value. If A is a negative number, then it's a downward parabola. But since A is a positive number, it's an upward parabola. And for upward parabolas, the vertex has a minimum, has a low point. And the lowest point is called your minimum value or your vertex. Any questions, comments, or concerns about that? Okay, anybody still writing? Jackson, you okay? Okay. All right, so now we're gonna find our zeros or our roots or our x-intercepts, okay? And remember, they all have the same meaning. We're gonna find our zeros, or another word for finding your zeros is to find, is to find your roots or your x-intercept. Okay. All right, so we're going to rewrite the equation. Forgot what it was just that quickly, y'all. So we got y is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 4. All right. So this is what you do to find that. You're going to factor this. Okay. So we look for GCF first. We do not have a GCF for all three terms. Okay, we don't have a GCF. This first term is a 1. So when you factor this, you have 2 parentheses. You're going to have x here and x here. So x times x gives you the x squared. Now you're going to make a table. This last number is a positive 4. So you're going to think, what two numbers can be multiplied together? Let me put product up here. What two numbers can be multiplied together to give you a positive 4? But when you add them together, you get the middle number, which is a negative 4. Okay. All right. What two numbers do you think? Let's just start listing. We only got 2 numbers that can really be multiplied together. 2 sets of numbers. We got 1 and 4, right? 1 times 4. And then we have 2 and 2, right? That's all I can think of, whole number wise. All right, or integer wise. I'd rather say integer wise. So which combination of numbers is going to work to give us a negative 4? Yes. Okay, making both of these negative, because a negative times a negative is still gonna give me a positive. And when you add them together, that gives you a negative 4. So we're gonna use negative 2. Okay, any questions about that? All right, so now after you factor, you're gonna set each of your factors equal to 0. So you got x minus 2 is equal to 0. X minus 2 is equal to 0, which is the same thing, right? Okay. So here, to solve for x or to get x by itself, we add 2. This gives us x is equal to 2. Here, same thing. This gives us x is equal to 2. There's only one answer here, but this is called a double root. And it's a double root because you did this twice to find out that what? It only crosses the x-axis at the same point. This is only one solution. It's a double root, but it's only one solution. The answers are the same, like twins, right? This is a one solution. Any questions about that? So it's only going to cross at one place. And where is it going to cross? It's going to cross at 2, 0. I mean, that's where it's going to touch at 2, 0. Okay. Sometimes they'll have you list the ordered pairs, and other times they'll have you just to list the roots, which is just 2 in this case. So this is just a list, and this is writing it as an ordered pair. Sometimes they'll have you write it as ordered pairs, and sometimes they'll just ask you to make a list of them. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Yes, baby. As ordered pairs, writing as ordered pairs. Okay. Jamarius, you got this written down? I need you to write this stuff down, babe. Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. Anybody else? Anybody lost? Nobody is lost? I don't believe that. All right, I'm going to give you one to do on your own, and then we're going to do word problem, okay? And I need to show you how to do it in the calculator. Trying to think, should I show you that first or? No, it's okay. We'll do this first. All right, so the one that I want you to do is y is equal to x squared plus 7x plus 10. Let's make sure I didn't write that one already. I think I did. No, I didn't. Okay, just making sure. Okay, let's do this one. And let's find the AOS. Okay. Let's find the vertex. Okay. Let's tell if the vertex is a minimum or a maximum value. Okay. And what else? And let's find our zeros / roots / x-intercepts. Okay. And I want you to write this down. I'm going to pause the video. That way, that'll give you some time. And the video is not as long. Write this down, please. I'm going to pause the video. All right, so with this one, okay, the first thing we're going to do is find our AOS, our axis of symmetry. So we use the formula for axis of symmetry, which is x is equal to negative b divided by 2a. So we're going to list our A, our B, and our C. What's our A? 1. What's our B? 7. And what's our C? 10. Okay. So we're going to substitute. We have negative a part of the formula. Then our B is 7. And then we got 2 times A is 1. Okay. So this gives me negative 7 divided by 2. That's going to give us a negative what? What's half of 7? 3.5. Okay, so our axis of symmetry is x is equal to a negative 3.5. Any questions about how we got that? Did anybody get that right? Please use the raise your hand tool so I can take tally. You got that right. Okay, good deal. Okay. All right, so there's some people we still got to work on that, okay? So now let's do the vertex. All right, so your vertex, we already got the x coordinate for the vertex, which is negative 3.5. So if you get the axis of symmetry wrong, you got the vertex wrong also. Okay, make sure you put your phone up, guys. Put your phone up. So now we want to figure out what y is. So we're going to take the original equation, x squared, y is equal to x squared plus 7x plus 10. And we're going to substitute this value for x into the formula. So we got y is equal to, we have negative 3.5 squared plus 7 times negative 3.5 plus 10, okay? So we can type this into our calculator. So this is going to give us, we got negative 3.5 squared plus 7 times negative 3.5, then we got plus 10, okay? And this is going to give us a negative 26.75. So y is a negative 26.75. So this is going to be our vertex here. So we put this negative 3.5 comma negative 26.75. This is our vertex. Is that our minimum or our maximum? It's minimum. Very good. Because A is equal to a positive number, because A is a positive number, I should just say A is positive. This is an upward parabola. So that means that our vertex is going to be a minimum. Okay. All right, did anybody get that right? Okay, we got some more folks. Use the raise your hand tool. Okay. All right, so we gotta work on that, okay? So we got our vertex and we got our minimum value. Okay, so now let's do zeros. I'm gonna do our zeros or our roots. So I'm just gonna put zeros for now, okay? So to find your zeros, you factor the equation. Here, I don't put y here, y is equal to, because really y is equal to 0. You wanna know where it goes. Y is equal to 0. Y, Ms. Reyes, is a 0. And I'm gonna tell you real quickly, any place that the line crosses the x-axis, your y here is gonna be 0. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0. Y is gonna be 0 any place that it crosses the x-axis. So when you wondering why is this called 0, or why do sometimes you see 0 is equal to and the function, because y is always going to be 0 when you're trying to figure out where it crosses the x-axis. Okay. But oftentimes we don't even write it, but we do know that's true. Tyler, did you have a question, babe?
No, that was on accident.
Oh, okay, no problem. All right, so now we want to factor this, find GCF first. There is no GCF for all three numbers, okay? So now you notice that this is a trinomial, and this first number is a 1. So you are going to have two binomials. You're going to put x in each because x times x is x squared. And you're going to draw a table. This is going to be your product. This is going to be your sum. You got the back note. The back number is positive 10. So what two numbers can be multiplied to give you a positive 10, but when you add them together, give you a middle number of a positive 7. 2 and 5. So we got positive 2 times a positive 5, which gives us positive 10. And when you add them together, you get that positive 7. So you're going to use plus 2 and plus 5. All right, so now to solve this quadratic function, you're going to set each of these equal to 0. So this is going to be x plus 2 is equal to 0. This is going to be x plus 5 is equal to 0. All right, so that means you're going to subtract 2 on both sides to get x is equal to negative 2 here. You're going to subtract 5 on both sides to get x is equal to a negative 5 here. So my parabola is going to cross the x-axis at negative 2 and negative 5. So sometimes they list it and they say, look, negative 2 and negative 5 are the two places where they cross, or they write them as ordered pairs. They say negative 2, 0, and negative 5, 0. Okay? Either or could be the answer. Any questions about that? Crosses up here at negative 2, 0, and negative 5, 0. Did anybody get that right? Oh, more people than I thought. Okay, good deal. Any questions about that? Okay, so I'm definitely going to give you more practice on that. Definitely going to give you more practice on that, okay? So you will have more practice on these types of problems that I want you to do on your own. At this time, I want you to work on your ELC review. I'm going to show you where that is. Always kicks me away from that screen. I don't know why. Okay. Right here. Okay, so this is where we are right here. This is where we should be. And these are the answers. So you should have already worked the problems out. Now part 3 is where your answers are. If you haven't done the notes, we'll go ahead and do the notes. Wherever you are, just go ahead and get those things done. I'm gonna mute myself. I just gave you guys the geometry one if you're in the classroom. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the other 2 as well. So if you want to work ahead, you can go ahead and work ahead. The sequences one is super duper short. So you could probably get all of these 3 done this week without having to push it to next week, because this middle one right here is very, very short. I think it's like 4 questions. So I'll go ahead and, if you're in the classroom, I'll go ahead and give you all of these. Okay. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video and give you a quiet space to work.